Coming up on HTF, we are diving into yesterday's NFL action, Saturday's college football, and what to expect in the last week of the MLB season. Hitting the Field starts now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask. I just really hit the field. 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 Boy, I'm about to hit the field.
Welcome back to another week of Hitting the Field. I'm your host, Jaret Kappelman, and I'm joined by HTF vet Armond Sarduy. How you doing today?
Bittersweet, my 49ers 3-0, but UCF lost this weekend. So
yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that, though. I'm also joined by the rookie, John Whitley. John, how does it feel to be here?
Another great week of football. I'm fired up.
All right, boys. Well, let's get into it. New York has a shiny new quarterback, and his name is Luke Falk. But there's this other quarterback named Daniel Jones. And he didn't do so bad yesterday either. Daniel Jones led an impressive 18-point comeback win for the Giants against the Bucs for their first win of the season. The Bucs had a higher than 97% win probability right before halftime, but the Giants somehow managed to pull it out after Jones ran for a touchdown on 4th down with less than a minute to go. John, are you buying a ticket on the Jones hype train?
Yeah, man. Considering we all laughed when they drafted this kid with the 6th pick, I really don't think he could have had a better debut.
Eli's done. This officially confirmed. This game yesterday officially confirmed it. Obviously, shout out to Tyler. He called it out on the HTF draft show in spring. But
I remember.
Honestly, he threw for 2 touchdowns.
He did.
Ran for 2 touchdowns.
Ran for 2.
So I'm just excited for the kid.
I remember the draft show. Half of us walked off the set when it happened. We were absolutely mind blown. An interesting stat I want to pull up: Eli Manning, lifetime trailing by 18 or more at half, was 0-44.
Yep.
And now Daniel Jones is 1-0. What do you have to say, John? Just like this was also without Saquon.
Without Saquon, but he did have his tight end Evan Ingram, and a great tight end is a young quarterback's best friend. He bailed him out a lot. It looked like this Giants offense had just gotten a time machine and finally started playing modern-day football, so it was great to see.
Now, Armand, we talked about, no Saquon. Do you think Shermer changed the game plan at all, or they just
he should because, Saquon, in my opinion, he's like he's top 5 running back. He's he's up there. He's my number 1. So he's going to be out there. He's going to be out for, several weeks because of the high ankle sprain. So I want to see how Daniel Jones performs without, his running back by his side.
So, yeah, I know we touched a little bit on Saquon, but I think what was really impressive, too, was the Giants' defense stepped up and made some plays there late in the game. Now, do we want to blame – did the Giants only win because the Bucs missed a field goal, or what are we going to say for this, John?
Yeah, you gave up 31 points to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is not exactly a juggernaut on offense. The Bucs, I would say, beat themselves, but that's not to undermine Daniel Jones' performance. He still had a great game.
Honestly, I think with the performance of the new quarterback, I think the Giants team altogether seems like revigorated.
Okay.
I'm saying with Eli, is always, the past couple games, except yesterday, it was all flat. What I'm saying, they didn't really play with that fire. Yesterday, the rookie QB, did what we had to do, and that they came up with a W.
So, I want to ask this one last question on the Giants. Do we think now the division's wide open? The Cowboys are 3-0, playing the 3 probably worst teams in the NFL. The Eagles are 1-2. The Redskins are 0-2. They play Monday night.
Right.
And then you also have the the Giants who are now 1-2. Do we think the Giants can sneak in this division?
I think they'll contend for a wild card spot. I don't think they make the playoffs this year, but I think it's going to be fun to watch when they get Saquon back and they're all hitting. They get Golden Tate back. When this offense is hot, it's going to be fun to watch, which is great for all football fans because the Giants are going to be playing in prime time whether they're good or not.
Okay, Armand.
Yeah, honestly, I think there's still the top 2 teams in the NFC East, the Cowboys and the Eagles. Honestly, Daniel Jones is the rookie. It takes time for him to grow. But when everybody comes back healthy, We'll see. We'll see.
Okay,
Yeah.
so my question for Eli now: retire, traded, or remains backup? Armond.
I know for sure he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be traded.
Okay.
Because he has no trade clause. So at this point, you just got to be a mentor to the young Daniel Jones. Just play the season out. I don't know how much he's getting paid this season. I think maybe between 17, 20 mil this season.
Wasted money in my
Wasted
books.
money, but hey, he had a great career. Won 2 Super Bowls, beat Brady twice.
Yep.
2007 and 2011. His regular season record is not very good. I think he's 500.
116 and 116.
Right,
On the
right
dot,
in money.
average.
But honestly, I do see Eli as a future Hall of Famer, not first ballot, but I do see him as a Hall of Famer.
Okay, I like that. John, what's Eli's future?
Yeah, Eli's always been a hard guy to read. I don't know where his head's at, but I think we'll see him play as a backup.
Backup?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe, Nick Foles' role, transfer into something bigger. But you know what? I think Eli's time in New York is done. It's the Daniel Jones era, and I'm excited for it. While Daniel Jones' performance yesterday might have surprised people, Patrick Mahomes didn't really surprise anyone. The reigning MVP now has 1,195 yards through 3 games. No other quarterback has more than 1,000. Mahomes threw for 374 and 3 touchdowns in yesterday's win over the Ravens. Armond, what's in store for Mahomes this season?
Super Bowl has to be.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the way they lost last year.
On offside, because
Yeah,
someone's two fingers were
we could
offsides.
have saw the Rams and Chiefs play in the Super Bowl last year, and we also saw them play in the regular season game. That was very
What was
exciting.
that, 53 to
Yeah,
49
no,
or
well, that's one of
something?
the best games I've ever seen in my life, in NFL. But the thing is that Patrick Mahomes, he's doing it again. I think he's so special. I ain't never seen a quarterback that's so efficient. The way he makes plays in the pocket, when the play breaks down, he's just so. And that has to go with the baseball background. His dad played in the MLB, for a couple of years.
He's got an arm on him.
Yeah. So the thing is that for Patrick Mahomes, I see him. Is either Super Bowl or bust.
All right, yeah. I mean, he's accounted for 40% of my fantasy points this year. John, what's in store for Mahomes?
Yeah, going into this season, I doubted him. I thought he was going to come back down to earth this year. I thought there was no way he could repeat what he did last year. But he's proved me wrong. He's gotten better, it looks like. So I think this is the year he gets over the hump of the Patriots.
I mean, maybe last season he was on earth. Maybe last season wasn't even a good season for him. Maybe this season he makes another step. Maybe he throws for 60 touchdowns, which we've never seen in the NFL.
Right.
I'm not saying that that's going to happen in the NFL we play in today, though. Anything is possible. We saw him explode for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Raiders 2 weeks ago. Right. I really want to know, Armond, can we see Mahomes set a record like that this year? 8 touchdown passes, 600 passing yards in a game.
Yeah, I think he's going to eclipse what he did last year with 50. I think he's going to get at least 60 touchdown passes. I was watching ESPN the other day, and they were talking about, he might eclipse 100,000 career passing yards. So
that would be insane.
Yeah,
that would be insane.
That would be insane. That's why it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We're not going to see 60 touchdown passes.
I mean, it's
I mean,
really
the way he's playing
unreasonable.
the way he's playing right now, you might see 60
don't run
touchdowns.
the ball.
I think we can see him repeat 50 touchdowns, 60 touchdowns. That's ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, for a Chiefs team that is not a run-first team, they use a lot of their backs out of the backfield too in route running. I think it's very reasonable. 70's a reach for sure, but 60, I mean,
60's a reach. 60's a reach. Repeating 50 is a slight reach, but I think we can see that. 60 is out of the question.
I mean, it is 5 touchdowns
ridiculous.
a game, but I mean, if he gets a couple 6, 7 touchdown games, I truly think it could happen. Now, coming from the Mahomes side, I want to really quick flip to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson was probably second in line to MVP leading up to this season. How do you guys think Lamar did against the Chiefs?
Honestly, it's going to be those type of games, honestly.
He played well.
He did play well, but it's the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them play each other in the AFC Championship game. I know that's not going to happen because the Patriots are still in the AFC.
Oh, yeah. Plus, that whole Ramsey thing, which we'll touch on later.
when Brady does decide to retire, I can't wait for those head-to-head matchups, though.
John?
Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson's the funnest quarterback to watch right now in the NFL. He's not on the same levels as, say, Patrick Mahomes, but I think he'll finish top 3 in MVP, and right now is the most fun quarterback to watch.
I mean, him and Mark Ingram have put the Ravens offense on their back this season. I mean, yes, they've played the Dolphins, then they played a Cardinals team, which hasn't looked great, I would say.
Right.
And then they lost to a Chiefs team, but they competed with the team that I think is looking to make a run at the AFC Championship.
Right.
I want one last quick answer.
Okay.
Is there any chance the Patriots don't make it to the AFC Championship?
Oh man, they're looking pretty good right now, man. I don't know. They're 3-0. They're picking back off what they did last season, defending Super Bowl champions. It's gonna be really tough, honestly.
I mean, they didn't cover the spread against the Jets yesterday, John.
Yeah, there's always a chance. This is the National Football League.
Yeah.
They could lose to the Ravens. They could lose to several teams.
Right.
There's always a chance.
I mean, the Ravens have been known to give them trouble in the postseason before. We've seen Baltimore go in there plenty of times and beat them. Arguably could have beat them like a couple more times if Billy Cundiff didn't go wide left by 37 yards. But that's a story for a different day. That's all we have right now. During our commercial break, head over to our Twitter at Hitting the Field and answer our Monday Night Football poll. Who's going to win tonight's Monday Night Football game between Chicago or Washington? We're going to reveal our answers later, or the results later in the show. When we come back, we move over to the college ball. Stick with us.
James Harden is a stat pack.
That is not, you're right.
He's the best scorer.
He has 120 straight points now.
Bro, 120 straight points now. He doesn't pass.
All right, let's do this. Let's get down to business, guys.
He's still got Aaron Gordon, PJ Tucker, and them boys. Come on now.
What about Carl?
Yeah, but they got
Tom Brady gets the sun.
Facts.
I think it's kind of special though.
What? What are you talking about, man? Crazy, man. I'll never say why.
Welcome back to HTF. As UCF's premier student talk show, we wouldn't do our football team justice if we did not talk about the heartbreaking loss the team took Saturday. But you won't hear it from us. Kyle Partain broke it all down with Brendan Schaefer on Might I Add as we filmed it earlier today. Keep an eye out on our YouTube page later this week, or if you're watching us on demand, check it out here. Now, on to the rest of the college football. We have an early entry for Game of the Year, but most of us on the East Coast probably slept through it. Not me, though. UCLA overcame a 32-point deficit to beat Washington State 67-63 to earn their first win of the season. Washington State led 49-17 with 4 minutes to go in the third, but 50 points in the final 19 minutes put UCLA on top. John, I hope you caught this game. Tell me how crazy it was.
It was wild. I'll tell you this, it's really no surprise to that much scoring because Mike Leach and Chip Kelly, these have been two of the best offensive minds since we were all in grade school. But it was great to see back and forth shootout, most exciting fourth quarter I've seen yet this year.
Armond?
I mean,
it was a game.
Yeah, we had to combine, what, 130 points combined?
Yeah, and the Washington State guy threw for 9 touchdowns.
So is that the future of Pac-12 football? I don't know what that is. But
is that the Big 12 or Pac-12? It's hard to tell.
It's just crazy. It's how you, like, Washington State, they allowed a 32-point comeback. I know that's going to be a heartbreaking loss.
In their home field.
In their home
with
field, too.
With Gardner Minshew in the building.
Yeah. It's just like, if every football game is like that, then, hey,
it's
buckle
going
up.
to be a fun season. So what does that mean for the Pac-12 now? I mean, we've seen Oregon fall to Auburn this season. Now we've seen Washington State fall. We've seen USC go up and down. Stanford's up and down. Is Pac-12 wide open, John?
Yeah, it's wide open, but it also means we're not going to see a Pac-12 team in the playoffs again.
I know that probably hurts the ears of Tyler Fellerman backstage, but Armond?
I might have to agree with him, but, you never know. Honestly, you have USC. Stanford is kind of like trying to figure themselves out. UCLA, they have Chip Kelly. He's trying to figure it out. But I thought Oregon would have probably been, in the college football playoff, and then they lose to Auburn.
I think they should. They could have won that Auburn game.
So they still, if they didn't lose to Auburn, they still had a chance to go and compete in the college football.
You think if Oregon runs the table, they get in?
It's gonna be tough.
I think they do.
It's gonna be tough.
I don't know.
The committee has a history of excusing week 1 losses.
Right.
So I think if they run the table, they get in.
I would agree with that, but we've also seen the bias, I would say, for if they would put a 1-loss SEC team in over a Pac-12 champion. Especially, look at it this way. If Alabama and Georgia go into the conference championship undefeated, let's say Georgia loses a 27-24 game, Georgia's still going to make the playoffs. There's no question.
Georgia still is, but the difference this year is LSU actually has a quarterback. They can knock off Bama. Auburn has more speed this year than I've ever seen with Gus Malzahn on the play call, so they have potential to knock off Georgia or Bama.
All right, so we'll touch on that later. But again, the Pac-12. I mean, is Chip Kelly gonna do something with this UCLA team now?
Look pretty good over the weekend. He came back from a 32-point game. The
how
deficit.
does 1-3 look though on the record book? Forget it that you've won. Your one win looks nice, but 1-3 does not look good on the record book.
It does not. But the thing is that they have a lot of growing to. I mean, right now, I think the best team in the Pac-12 right now is Oregon.
Oregon, okay.
Other teams are trying to find their place in it, but Pac-12, you had to go through Oregon.
I have a bold prediction, John. Washington State's gonna run the table.
Okay, Jared.
I have a bolder prediction. They're going to lose to Utah this weekend.
I don't know, man.
Utah's looking to bounce back against that tough loss against USC.
They lost to a third-string quarterback at USC.
I mean, the thing is that you got to argue.
Yeah, but that's a USC third-string quarterback.
I mean, what
he didn't
was
start the game?
What was Utah doing being ranked that high?
Undefeated Pac-12, looking nice, big.
I mean, didn't play like a top 10 team when they played USC.
Of course not. UCF, I don't even want to talk about. Well, we weren't ranked top 10, but we didn't deserve it. But Utah, I mean, realistically, probably should have won that game. But I guess when a third-string quarterback comes in, you have no film on him. Things go haywire.
Right.
And I think that's what we saw happen. Pac-12's wide open. Really excited for it. But I want to move on here. Because the Wisconsin Badgers are the newest addition to the AP Top 10 after dismantling Michigan 35-14. Heisman candidate Jonathan Taylor ran for over 200 yards, and the team looks like a true playoff contender. Armond, how legit are these Badgers?
Wisconsin is looking pretty good. The way they dismantled Michigan. I mean, let me talk about Michigan for a second. Why are they ranked that high? Like every year they're in the same boat as Notre Dame.
Harbaugh is a choker.
Right. They're in the same boat as Notre Dame. They get ranked pretty high and they lose to a team, a ranked team, and they drop low in the polls. I think Michigan's number like 20 now?
They were right next to us. Like we were 22, they were 21 maybe.
But this is just part of my opinion, but like I think if we play Michigan, we probably would beat Michigan. UCF.
I would agree. Florida dismantled them too.
But going back to Wisconsin, I think they can make a run for the college football playoff.
John?
Yeah, I think this loss speaks more to how good Wisconsin is than how bad Michigan is. It's a tough loss for Michigan because they haven't been able to pull off the big games in recent history. But this Wisconsin team is really, really good, and I think they will make the playoffs this year.
They might represent the Big Ten.
I mean, they're gonna have to go through like Ohio State, Michigan State, like someone. They're gonna have to go through a big. I say a Big Ten team. That's cliche, but like they're gonna have to go through a powerhouse. I mean, they're gonna have to go through Ohio State.
They look like a much more complete team than Ohio State. When your defense is that good and your run game is that good, then it makes it that easy for a quarterback.
I mean, the thing is that Ohio State's looking pretty good too.
So, but it's okay. It's Wisconsin Ohio State played tomorrow. Who wins that game? Because if you think about it, Wisconsin has actually played competition versus Ohio State. What did Fields only play 2 quarters, and then he threw 6 touchdowns had 6 touchdowns.
Ohio State's looking pretty good.
They did. They put up 76?
Yeah, just about. I mean, the thing is that Ohio State. Justin Fields. I'm glad he transferred to Ohio State because they weren't really in Georgia. They weren't really using his talents correctly. But now, with Ryan Day as head coach, you see a lot of
So Ohio State, Wisconsin. Who wins right now?
Oh man.
Quick, I need an answer.
I say Ohio State.
Okay, John.
Listen, if they played right now, Justin Fields has not seen a defense like this Wisconsin Badgers defense. Right. He will get dismantled against the Badgers.
I mean, honestly, Justin Fields, I believe in him. I've seen him play in these past couple games. I think it's going to be a close game.
I've seen him play too, and he's inaccurate. That's not something that's going to change.
But he could also beat you with his feet, though.
Not against this Wisconsin Badgers defense. He's played a cupcake schedule so far.
And then you have what's his name, Dobbins in the backfield too. So I want to see this.
But that's nothing compared to Jonathan Taylor in the backfield for these Badgers.
It's gonna be close.
It's gonna be close. I hope we get to see it.
Listen, if Wisconsin wants to be in the college football playoff, they have to win out. It's gonna be tough because they have to play Ohio State. You can forget about Michigan.
You can forget Michigan.
Yeah.
But Ohio State, I'm taking the Badgers.
I mean, honestly, the Ohio State, they run the table right now. They're the kings of the Big Ten. So, but it's gonna be a close game. If they play tomorrow, it's gonna be a close game. I say the Ohio State wins by a field goal or maybe a touchdown. It's gonna be close.
I'm taking Wisconsin by about 12.
Wisconsin 12? I just have to look off. Wisconsin's played competition. Ohio State hasn't. One team looks good. Both look good. Who knows? We'll see. But from the Big Ten to the SEC, Another team with a statement win this weekend was the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia pulled off an impressive 23-17 win over Notre Dame at home, their first real test this season as the team is slated to make the playoffs. DeAndre Swift ran for 98 yards and a touchdown, and the defense held off a rally from the Irish. John, is Georgia a legit contender?
Georgia is a legit contender. If I'm these Bulldog fans, then I'm pretty worried about what I saw for the performance Auburn put on against Texas A&M, but they're legit. Notre Dame, great test, but we know Notre Dame always struggles with speed, so it's really no surprise to me. I think if you're a Georgia fan, you're disappointed they didn't put up more points.
Are they
Honestly,
contender?
I believe so. The thing is that, they're in SEC with LSU, Alabama,
Auburn, Florida, Georgia.
right? And then you have Notre Dame, who's
Georgia.
independent. They don't really play anybody because they're not in the conference. The thing is that, we're speaking on Notre Dame. This is just every year they're very underwhelming. They always lose to a very highly skilled ranked team, and it's also playoff. But when it comes time to play the big boys, they don't show up.
And I hate to say it because the Irish. Their fan base is great. They do have a very talented team, but they just never seem to get it done. John, is this more? Should Georgia look at this as we're top dog in the SEC?
Not because of this game.
Okay.
But I think they should look as themselves as top dogs in the SEC because they can be top dogs in the SEC. Notre Dame does not have the speed to play with Georgia. We knew that going in. Georgia was at home. They should have beat them by more.
Do you think
Honestly,
they should have beat them by more?
I think they should have. I think it should have been a blowout. Honestly.
Okay.
The thing is that Georgia played down to Notre Dame's to play to the competition. Notre Dame. It looks good for Georgia. They beat a respectable Notre Dame team who's also ranked number 7. So when it comes to time for college football player rankings, it looks good on their resume.
It does look good on their resume, but the one thing I want to touch on is, when are we going to see Notre Dame actually step up? Are we ever going to see Notre Dame step up? They play these big games every year, and
we talked about this on last week. Well, they're independent. What I'm saying? They need conference play.
Okay.
If not, then you just rely on regular season wins.
Well, they're not getting those regular season wins.
Right.
Is my point, John. What do we think?
Yeah, until they start recruiting more speed, I don't think it's going to happen with Brian Kelly as their coach. I think they're going to need some sort of revolutionary type coach and get more speed out to come to the Midwest and play for Notre Dame.
So speed kills.
Speed's kill because that's what's killed them in the past.
So
look what Clemson did.
Clemson did.
Wide receiver you
yeah.
you have Justin Ross or T Higgins. I think they only scored maybe 3 points in that college football semifinal. But when they play teams like Clemson and Georgia, they have no chance because they don't play those teams during the regular season in conference play.
John,
that's fair. I think they need to actually join a conference for starters and recruit more speed.
So speed.
It's all
I
speed.
keep hearing speed.
We talk about Notre Dame. What conference should they go to? If you think about it,
The ACC.
They were in the ACC and they left.
Oh, that's the only conference.
Yeah.
I think they belong in the Big Ten. They play a Big Ten brand of football. They recruit in that region.
I do agree on John this one. They do play in the Big Ten. If they do play in the Big Ten, they would probably look good for the resume, but it's gonna be tough because you have Wisconsin again, Ohio State. You forget about Michigan, but Notre Dame. I just don't see them, in the college football playoff for a while.
I don't either. I would say UCF and Notre Dame have the same chances of making the college football playoffs just because they.
I hope we played them in the New Year's Six Bowl.
Well, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be tough for both teams to get there now. But real quick, Auburn and A&M, I want to touch on that real quick. I think Auburn looked pretty well.
They did. A&M is, honestly, I think they should have played a better game. But Auburn, right now, they're coming off their first game with Oregon in the first game of the season, and they're right on the wave right now.
So Iron Bowl this year, who wins it?
Iron Bowl right now, they're playing in Jordan-Hare. They got a quarterback. Gus Malzahn is coaching for his job and calling the plays. I'm taking Auburn, and that's easy.
Ooh,
Armond.
I don't know. I learned that don't count on Alabama.
Okay, but they got slaughtered last year.
Yeah. Honestly, it's going to be a close game this year. But
another kick six kind of thing?
First off,
That'd be
Tua
great.
Tua's going to be beat up because he's going to be coming off LSU and Mississippi State, and it's in Jordan-Hare. No chance.
No, I
Alabama
definitely
wins.
think there's a lot of chances for storylines there. But you know what? That's in week 13, 14. We just got to see who's healthy, who's playing the best football right then and there. If you want more college football analysts from our HTF staff, you're in luck. Tomorrow we're unveiling our first ever HTF poll as the HTF analysts rank the top 25 for the college football season. You can check that out on our Twitter page at Hitting the Field Tomorrow. And be sure to vote in our Monday Night Football Twitter poll. Voting closes in the next few minutes, so do your civic duty and vote. Check us out after the break as we get wild. Wild cards and wild NFL quarterbacks. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dave Jeffrey, attorney at law. Has your favorite team ever left you feeling
I agree.
sad, disappointed, or even a little angry? Don't you feel like you should be compensated for it? Just take a look at these real testimonials from my real clients. After Tyrod Taylor led the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then the Bills traded him, and I wanted to die. But thanks to Dave, I found my will to live again. Yo, Kevin Durant's a bitch. When he said his mom was the MVP, I was so pissed. He put up 30 a game, not her. Same time, I knew my boy Dave would be able to get me some quick cash. Thanks, Dave Jeffrey. I've helped millions of people, and chances are I might be able to help you too.
I hate David Jeffries. My whole family died in a car crash, but he gave all my money away to a Saints fan because of some blown pass interference call. Thanks, Dav.
Aren't you mad when KD went to the Warriors?
Nah, that's pretty chill. Give me a call at 888-888-888, crying emoji, and I can fix your sports misery too.
Please call the number on your screen today if you are experiencing any grief, sadness, or even if another fan has hurt your feelings. All you have to do is provide your credit card number, the 3 silly digits on the back, and the expiration month and year. This is not a scam. Derp-de-derp.
Yo, guys, I can't even imagine what it's like to be a Saints fan right now.
Dude,
I'd be so
guys,
mad.
I can't believe that ridiculous no call.
Bro, I'm puzzled. If they would have made that call, who do you think would have been in the Super Bowl? The Saints would have been in the Super Bowl. Come on now.
The refs, they need to be punished.
Oh, hey guys. Did you see my missed call last week? Could have sent that team to the championship. I guess not.
I can't take this anymore.
What's up with this guy?
And we're back. In this segment, I want to take a chance and hop around and talk about the latest buzz in the sports world. With 1 week left in the regular season, it's magic numbers week for the MLB. In their last 10 games, the pardon me, sorry. The Indians are very hot right now in baseball. They've won 7 of their last 10. They're looking really good going into the postseason. Do we think they get this wild card spot?
Honestly, I think so because the rest of the games this season they played the White Sox and the Nationals. The Rays they play tonight against the Red Sox, and then they play twice in the Yankees, and they also play. I think they play Toronto. But the thing is that in terms of path of getting that wild card spot, I think the Indians got it.
The Indians have it? Like Indians, Rays, Athletics, who do you think has it?
Yeah, I think the Indians have it, and not only that, I think they're going to make a lot of noise in this postseason.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think the Rays look really good too. They have probably played in what was the best division in baseball this year. Well, in the AL side, I would say. But do we think the Rays, Indians, who wins the wild card game?
Honestly, the thing is that too. I was reading about it yesterday. If it's a tiebreaker, it's gonna have to play in Tampa Bay, and and Tampa is 6-1 in the season series against the Indians. So and they're playing at home too. So I think the Rays, if they're going on the path right now, they have to play the Red Sox tonight. The Red Sox, very disappointing. Play Yankees. Yankees, they have they play 2 games against the Yankees. The Yankees might slow down a little because they clinched the AL East. And they play Toronto. Toronto, Toronto will probably, play them hard because they had nothing to lose. But the better path is the Indians because they play the White Sox and Nationals.
John, real quick, Rays, Indians, A's.
I'm
winner. It'll be in Tampa. Who wins?
Indians.
Indians.
They're the hottest team in baseball right now.
I would agree with that. All right, well, let's jump into the question that I tried to jump the gun on real quick before MLB. In the last 10 games, the Carolina Panthers are 2-8. Both wins have come under Kyle Allen under center. Allen threw for 261 yards and 4 touchdowns as the team won its first game of the season. John, is this a fluke or is Allen the real deal?
He's the real deal, but I'd pump the brakes on the hype a little bit. I think it's great for Panthers fans because it gives Cam Newton time to really get healthy and get back. But when Cam Newton is healthy and back, he's the guy in Carolina.
So, what do you say when Cam Newton comes back? Is Kyle Allen proven to be the starter?
No, I mean, it's good for the future, though.
So what do you think of his performance yesterday?
Amazing. I mean, I was watching the game. I was like, who is this guy? I never heard of this guy before. But the thing is that, Carolina Panthers can breathe easy now that a quarterback that can produce. While Cam's hurt, saying take time to heal. I was reading about something the other day. I listened to ESPN, people are counting Cam Newton now. Is he washed or whatever? He hasn't had a healthy season and since, maybe the 2016 season. The thing is that Cam Newton, he needs to get back in there healthy because I think when he's healthy, he's part of maybe top 10, top 15 team.
Could all agree he hasn't been the same since the MVP season, since the fumble in the Super Bowl. I want to highlight that quite clearly, John. He leads the NFL with 34.7% uncatchable throws. I mean, what's up with Cam?
He's missing throws. I think he's distracted for one thing. You watch him in the offseason, it's all about fashion, food.
Yeah.
It's not about football. You watch Tom Brady in the offseason, it's all football every day.
I mean, you could argue against, maybe it's his shoulder. Maybe his shoulder is still bothering him.
Is it though?
It could be.
The shoulder is a factor, but I think his head is more of a factor. I think he's distracted. He's more concerned about the outside stuff. If you want to be a social media celebrity, go be a social media celebrity.
I mean, the thing is that it could be either that or it could be the shoulder. We never know. We don't know what's in his head right now. But right now he's weak. He's vulnerable. He needs to take time to heal. The thing is that we need to go back to see that Cam Newton that played in the Super Bowl. That had that MVP season in 2015. The thing is that when he played in Super Bowl 50, he played like he was scared. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of people in his ear. He needs to go back to that Cam Newton that first got into the league. That was very dynamic, doing a lot of RPO stuff like that. Because the thing is that if Carolina comes back, if Cam Newton comes back with Carolina, you have McCaffrey in the backfield, a lot of RPO action going on right there. Carolina Panthers could be a very dangerous team when he comes back, but you never know.
John?
They could. It's all about what Cam Newton are you getting. Are you getting the Cam Newton who's missing wide open receivers, or are you getting the MVP Cam Newton?
I mean, we haven't seen MVP Cam Newton
in a while.
MVP Cam
I'll
Newton.
go out on a limb. I'd say we're never going to see that Cam Newton again.
But it's not even like they need him at MVP level, though. They just need him to not suck.
They need him to hit wide open receivers.
I think he needs to go back he needs to go rehab his shoulder, right? Go back, rely. I think he needs to work on his mechanics. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he works on mechanics since he's been in the league. He's just been, run first
Raw
quarterback.
Talent. Okay, John.
I think he's what people thought Lamar Jackson was going to be. Just run all the time, not throw the ball.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson heard people talking this year, and he went out there during the summer in the offseason and worked on his mechanics.
That's interesting. John, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think he does rely on his big physical prowess a little too much, but inaccurate quarterbacks never become accurate. That's not a trait that you can teach. I mean, you might see a little improvement, but he's never going to be an accurate quarterback.
All right, well, some things never change, and I guess it's going to be Cam Newton's accuracy. Well, let's hop into the next one. Through 3 weeks, 8 teams have started more than one QB. One of those teams is the Jacksonville Jaguars, who employ the league's newest cult hero quarterback, Gardner Minshew II. In the win on Thursday Night Football, Minshew went 20 for 30 with 204 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Armond, would you rather have Kyle Allen or Gardner Minshew?
Ooh, good question. Man, I think I'd rather have Minshew.
I usually say there's no wrong answers, but on this segment there will be a wrong answer. John?
I'm taking Kyle Allen.
And there's the wrong answer. No, I want to hear what.
Kyle Allen, he's more accurate. He's larger, more physical. I think his mechanics are a little more sharp. I think Minshew, great quarterback, but he's going to have to come back down to earth eventually.
The thing is that, I think the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars, taking a breather for a minute because both their starting quarterbacks are hurt. So at least you're preparing for when they do come back. But the thing is that Kyle Allen, will we see that next week or the week after that?
The way Kyle Allen plays is sustainable. It is sustainable. He's got great mechanics. He's accurate with the football. He throws it on time, doesn't make the critical mistake. Minshew, when he was in college, he was hitting wide open receivers. These holes are going to keep getting tighter. I don't know if he has the sustainable accuracy to be great.
I mean, I believe in Minshew. I think he'll do an incredible job when Foles comes back.
I was going to say, who has the better mentor? You have Cam Newton and Kyle Allen Jr., and you got Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP, and Gardner Minshew's.
I'll give you that. I would rather have Nick Foles mentoring me than a Cam Newton, but I would rather have Ron Rivera as my coach.
Yeah. I have Nick Foles. I mean, we have a Super Bowl winning quarterback. The way the way he played against the Eagles. I mean, when he played Eagles, Patriots with the Eagles. The thing is, it's just so sad that he went down. But the thing is that play when he got hurt, you saw that dot he threw to, was it DJ Chark or?
Yes. It was Chark. It was Chark. Whoever caught the ball, it was a dime.
It was a dime. So I'd rather have him as my mentor than Cam Newton, who can't throw the ball.
But how John said he'd rather have Ron Rivera as his coach. Are you agreeing with that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I don't think Doug Marrone.
Doug Marrone, yes.
He doesn't have control of that team at the moment.
You
see with Jalen Ramsey. He got in Jalen Ramsey's face.
Talking about Jalen Ramsey, let's hop into this.
Okay.
It's hard to tell, really, which Jags storyline tops this season. Some might say it's Minshew. Some might say it's the trade request of their disgruntled corner, Jalen Ramsey. Ramsey requested a trade a week ago, but played Thursday against Tennessee. But reports say that Ramsey is not practicing this week because he has the flu. Convenient, right? John, is this what?
Yeah, man. I remember when I was in kindergarten, I told my mom I had the flu when I didn't want to go to school. But it's time for him to man up, go to practice, be a professional, and play out his contract.
I would say that Jalen Ramsey will not be a Jacksonville Jaguar by Sunday.
I didn't think he'd make it through the end of the week. I mean, we had teams.
I mean, they were talking about it. They were saying, you can't trade him, before Thursday night's football game, and then play him and put him on a roster for another team's game on Sunday. But the thing is that I think Jalen Ramsey, he's done in Jacksonville. He just wanted to play. He wanted to play on Thursday out of good faith. You know what I'm saying? He makes sure he's not a distraction in the locker room. But I don't see him playing. That's the last time we seen him playing in Jacksonville.
John, is he the best corner in the NFL to do this? Like to be able to.
Yeah,
pull this?
if there is a corner who can pull this off, it is Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. But you see a lot of guys, taking it away from the NBA playbook, forced away out of, the team that they won't play for anymore. So you're going to see a lot of that coming on the next couple of years.
John?
Yeah, it certainly worked so far for the guys who have done it. But I'll tell you what, there's worse places to have to play out a contract than Jacksonville.
Okay, so if you don't want to play in Jacksonville, do you think it's Marrone's problem at any point? You think Marrone might be the issue?
I think he might be the issue. The thing is that I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, they look, honestly, they look like they didn't want a bad team when they played Tennessee Titans on Thursday night. But the thing is that, you can't have an undisciplined team. Like the Dolphins, they're an undisciplined team. You know what I'm saying?
I think the Dolphins are just bad.
That too. But, it's just like you have to have, that's your main guy.
There's a difference between being bad and undisciplined, though.
I mean, you have probably like a top 5 corner, on your team. You got to make sure that everything's all right with him. But if he wants out, then there's something wrong with that.
I mean, what do you have to say? Because the Jags were
winning solves all your problems. So if he continues to win, the locker room's going to be fine. I think Jalen Ramsey, they salvage that relationship and make the playoffs. But if they lose, it's going to become a wreck. Doug Marrone will lose his job. Jalen Ramsey will be out, and nobody's job is safe.
He's his contract year for him. So if he gets traded to another team, he becomes an undrafted, free agent in the summer. He could sign back with any team he wants to. But it's definitely going to be Jacksonville.
I think people tend to forget the Jags were a quarter of football away from being in the Super Bowl.
That's true.
But you know what? Times have changed, and they're now back on the bottom. So, you know what, guys? I appreciate the content, and when we come back, we'll reveal the results to our HTF poll, and I'll deliver my first night vision of the season.
Saints fan right now.
Dude,
I'd be so
guys.
I can't believe that ridiculous no call.
Bro, I'm puzzled. If they would have made that call, who do you think would have been the Super Bowl? The Saints would have been the Super Bowl. Come on now.
The refs, they need to be punished.
Oh, hey guys. Did you see my missed call last week? Could have sent that team to the championship. I guess not.
I can't take this anymore.
What's up with this guy?
Hi, I'm Dave Jeffrey, attorney at law. Has your favorite team ever left you feeling sad, disappointed, or even a little angry? Don't you feel like you should be compensated for it? Just take a look at these real testimonials from my real clients. After Tyrod Taylor led the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then the Bills traded him, and I wanted to die. But thanks to Dave, I found my will to live again. Yo, Kevin Durant's a bitch. When he said his mom was the MVP, I was so pissed. He put up 30 a game, not her. Same time, I knew my boy Davey would be able to get me some quick cash. Thanks, Dave Jeffrey. I've helped millions of people, and chances are I might be able to help you too.
I hate David Jeffries. My whole family died in a car crash, but he gave all my money away to a Saints fan because of some blown pass interference call. Thanks, Dav.
Aren't you mad when KD went to the Warriors?
Nah, that's pretty chill. Give me a call at 888-888-888, crying emoji, and I can fix your sports misery too.
Please call the number on your screen today if you are experiencing any grief, sadness, or even if another fan has hurt your feelings. All you have to do is provide your credit card number, the 3 silly digits on the back, and the expiration month and year. This is not a scam. Doop-de-doop.
Are in. Chicago won the poll 84-16, and they don't have a quarterback. Well, they have Mitchell Trubisky, but you know what? He'll figure it out eventually. All right, guys. What's one thing you're looking forward to most on Monday night tonight, real quick?
Honestly, I hope the Chicago defense plays good because they're on my fantasy team. So I just need some points for me to win my first game of the season. So
yeah, man, I'm most excited to see Khalil Mack. Every time he steps on the field, you know you're going to get to see some good football. I do think a loss by the Redskins, we could be seeing the rookie matchup of Case Keenum versus Dwayne Haskins next week.
Ooh, that'd be really cool. But you know what? Remember, Chicago 84-16, according to you guys voting at HTF. It'll be a fun game. Can't wait to get out of class tonight and be able to watch it. All right, well, for some reason, my producer is giving me a night vision today, so let's jump right into it. First off, Josh Heupel, figure it out. Stop getting your calls off of Madden. 4th and 2, run up the middle, not going to cut it. We are a championship caliber team. We are not running the ball up the middle against a Power 5 team who is probably more physical than us up the middle with one of our tiniest running backs. Figure it out. Also, Philly, call me. My phone number, I'm not going to leak that on air, but you guys need wide receivers. I cannot stand 7 drop passes. Give Carson Wentz the help. I am absolutely sick of it. We should be 3-0, but you know what? We're 1-2. Why? Because our first-round draft pick can't catch, our second-round draft pick can't catch, and you know what? Our 2 guys that are supposed to be catching the balls aren't healthy. You know what? Let's tune it back down, though. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Hitting the Field. Tomorrow, check out the first edition of the HTF poll. And on Wednesday, keep an eye out for the first episode of Might I Add, where Kyle Partain breaks down UCF's heartbreaking loss to Pitt. And be sure to listen to the HTF podcast hosted by our own Jeremy Brenner. Head over to social media, like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube page, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter on Hitting the Field. From the University of Central Florida, I'm Jaret Kappelman. Thank you, John and Armond, for making this a great episode, and we'll see you again next Monday at noon.
They gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I'm in